and welcome to Discovering Your Energetic Wheel of the Year. This is video 2 for Ostara. So if you saw the post in the Facebook group, then you know that I have already completed video 1. It was uploaded, I had processed it out of iMovie, it was uploading onto YouTube, and I was making the thumbnail for the video when it dawned on me that holy shit, you didn't even talk about one of the main topics. I could not believe I did that. So I had been writing all of my notes in a journal, but when I was out and about and things would come to me and I didn't have the journal on hand, I would put notes in my phone. And for the most part, I would remember to condense it and put it back into the journal. But I had every intention of going to my phone and getting some of my talking topics from the phone. And one of the main topics was on the phone, and I never wrote about it in the journal. And when I went to condense it down and record video 1, there was about 12 pages of content just in the journal. And I wasn't even thinking about the phone. I completely forgot that there was more information in my phone. And so video 1 was based just on the notes that I took from the journal. And then as I was making the thumbnail, some of the pictures that came up that I was choosing from made me remember, oh shit, you didn't even talk about this. So, welcome to video 2. In video 2, I want to talk about one of the main, plot points? No, that's not the right word. What? The main thing, the main idea behind Ostara. So as the wheel turns, the sun rotates and becomes higher and brighter in the sky. It then starts to wane and becomes lower and further away, and then it kind of comes back up. And that's kind of where the wheel of the year stems from. That's where our seasonal change stems from, is the Earth's rotation and where it is in relation to the sun at different points on the orbit. And yeah, there's this whole big like astrological science behind it. But for us in an earth-based spirituality, we are looking at the seasonal change and the relation that has on kind of our body, mind, and spirit, and the effect that it has on the earth around us. So, Ostara is the spring equinox, and the spring equinox is the point in the year where day and night are equal. And as the sun revolves and the earth revolves and the seasons change, we have more hours of sunlight at certain times of the year and more hours of darkness at other times of the year. And as we come around to Yule, that is the darkest night of the year. That is the longest night. That's the night where we have the most hours of darkness and the fewest hours of daylight. And then from the point of Yule to Imbolc, the days start to get gradually longer and we start to see more daylight hours. On Ostara, those daytime and nighttime hours are balanced. We basically have 12 hours of each. It is equal daylight and nighttime hours, daylight and darkness. And so there is that perfect balance, that equality, that perfect harmony between day and night. From the time of Ostara, moving forward through the wheel, we then start to see the days get gradually longer until we get to the longest day of the year. And that's another whole festival that we'll talk about when we get to that point. But for Ostara, the focus is on a lot of the balance. Because it is that time of equal day and night, a lot of things are brought into our realm of consciousness about balance, things that we need to balance, things that may be unbalanced in our lives, where we need to try and find more balance. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video that I completely left out of video number 1. So Ostara, the spring equinox, is a time of balance. And I have notes here again because I don't want to forget to talk about anything, but some of the things that you can focus on are where you need more areas of balance in your life. Maybe you need to balance your screen time with the time that you're unplugged, balance your work and play, balancing the time that you spend being inactive with the times that you are active, so finding more time to be active in your life. or if you are someone who is constantly moving, maybe finding time to relax and be still more often. And a big one that I think so many of us completely forget about and overlook is balancing taking care of other people and taking care of ourselves. So self-care often gets put on the back burner. We try to take care of everybody else. We have responsibilities for our families. You know, we have jobs. We have to cook dinner. We have to clean. We have to make sure that everybody has everything that they need, that the laundry is done, that you're spending time with your family, that you're building the relationships, that you're, you know, focusing on your kids and taking care of them and raising them, and focusing on your partner and making sure that their needs are met and fulfilled, and that your relationships are all strong because you're taking care of all of these people. And in doing so, we can forget to take care of ourselves. And we put ourselves on the back burner. We put our needs and our wants kind of on the back burner because we want to do for other people. And I think at Ostara, it's incredibly important to focus on that self-care and finding that balance. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you damn sure can't take care of anybody else. And taking that time to, you know, do the things that make you happy, being selfish in the best possible way is a good thing. So take yourself out for, you know, a picnic at the park and spend some time in nature if that's your thing. Or go get a pedicure or a manicure if that's your thing. Buy yourself some new clothes or makeup, or, you know, just treat yourself to something that you wouldn't normally do. Take the time to make a cup of tea and enjoy that cup of tea. Savor it. Journal, you know, read a book. Do the things that fill your well and fill your soul with joy. Because I think a lot of times we are so busy taking care of other people that we kind of forget about taking care of ourselves. So Ostara is a perfect time to look at where your focus is and try and find that balance. So make sure you're just not giving everything away and that you are keeping some for yourself. So at this time of Ostara, think about where you can balance different areas of your life. This can also be a really good journal prompt. Where can you find more balance? What needs more balance in your life? What is out of balance? All of these are really good journal questions that you can sit with and, you know, leave some space, because you can always come back to that and add to these, just as you would the other journal prompts that were in video number 1. So finding that balance, again, whether it's work and play or caring for others and self-care, being plugged in and being unplugged, being active, being at rest, finding balance in all of those things is extremely important at any time of year, but it's a good time to focus on it at Ostara because of that time of balance. So that's just something that I wanted to talk about because I completely overlooked it in the first video, and it's so important. It's such an integral part of Ostara for me because of that balance. And I'm not sure, I may have said this in video 1, but I did want to say, in case I did not mention this in video number 1, on Ostara, I take time for myself. Every day of the week, I get up, I get my son off to school. You know, I'm figuring out what's going to be for dinner, and I go to work, and then I come home and I'm cooking and cleaning and, you know, taking care of my family. But on Ostara, I take time after everyone is out of the house to do what I want to do, and I focus on myself, and I'm really pretty fucking selfish about it because I don't want anybody to talk to me. I don't want anybody to disturb me. I ignore my phone. I actually put it in a different room, and I do what I want to do. So I make myself a delicious breakfast, a nice cup of tea. I'll sit with my journal or a book. I always try to spend some time outside if I can, or at least by a window. And I'm pretty territorial about that time. And I do that on all of the festival days, but especially on Ostara, just because it is that time of balance and new beginnings. And so I want to start that time on the right foot, you know, with taking care of myself and checking in with what I need and what I want, and making sure that I'm giving those things to myself and not second guessing it, not questioning it, not saying, oh, well, I have all these other things to do. No, fuck that. This is a time that you deserve to take care of yourself and be a little bit selfish in the best possible way. And I say this all the time, that the word selfish has a really negative connotation, and selfish people can be complete assholes. But there is a way to be selfish that is nourishing for you and not detrimental to anyone else. So I think being selfish in the best possible way is a good thing, especially at this time. I think that's it. The other thing that I wanted to add really quickly, let me just check my notes and make sure I don't forget it, were a couple of the other activities that, things that I actually do that I completely forgot to mention on the other video, on video number 1. I always take a bath on Ostara. I try to do it on every festival day, but I try to take a ritual bath. And so I will have my candles lit in the bathroom. No one's allowed to talk to me. I have my quiet, gentle spa music playing. I have the candles lit. I have incense burning. I make it a ritual bath. And if I have made any spell candles, like I have my healing candle that I made this year, that will be burning. My other spell candles, I did the green money rice video that shows you the entire process. I made a candle that I anointed with the money oil that I made. I'll have that one burning. So I have all of these energies around me for all the spell work that I've done, and just kind of absorbing all of that energy, and through this ritual bath I am cleansing myself of, you know, the shit that has been dragged through that winter sludge, and I'm removing it and going into spring with a fresh rejuvenated, cleansed vessel that is myself. So I always take a ritual bath on all of the festival days, but absolutely on Ostara. I also changed, so this is kind of just an Edie thing. I'm kind of a germaphobe, as you may know. So at Ostara, I also changed my bath scrunchie and changed my toothbrush head. I changed the batteries in my toothbrush. So everything is nice and fresh and clean going forward. So I change my bath scrunchie and toothbrush about every 3 months. So the festival day of Ostara, that's another time for that. And so yes, I'm getting new ones. And so like at Christmas time, that's something that's always in our stockings, is bath scrunchies, the bath poof things. I call them bath scrunchies. And toothbrush heads, because we all have electric toothbrushes. So we get those at Yule, and they're just new items. But Ostara, I take a moment to empower the new scrunchie and toothbrush heads going forward as cleansing items. As I use them, may they cleanse me and keep me moving forward for the season. So I take just a moment to do that and kind of consecrate them, the ones that I get at Ostara. And another thing that you can also do that I may or may not have mentioned in video number 1 is make smudge bundles. I can't say the word, smudge bundle. You can use lavender, sage, rosemary, flower petals, any greenery and botanicals that you like the scent of, or that look pretty together and the smell will blend well together. Roll them up, let them dry out, and make yourself some smudge bundles. A lot of the home improvement stores have flowers and plants coming out right now because it is the first part of spring. So you can find lavender plants, you can find sage plants. You can also buy a sage bundle and take it apart and make your own individual sage bundles with mixed botanicals. I don't really like the scent of sage. As long as it's mixed with something, I'm okay with the scent of sage. But white sage is just overpowering for me. I don't like the smell of it. As a rule, I tend to use Palo Santo, but I do like white sage mixed with wee sage, or white sage mixed with cedar. And cedar is pretty readily available. All you need to do is break off some branches, bundle them together and let them dry, and then you can make a sage bundle just from the sage branches as well. So making sage bundles that you can use throughout the year, Ostara is a really good time to do that. And you can do it with pretty much any fresh botanical that you like the scent of. Rose petals are really good, lavender is really good. Pretty much any flower petal is gonna do nicely. You could also buy a bouquet of flowers and then just kind of roll them up and use the stems of the flowers and the leaves of the flowers and everything, just kind of bundle it up, and maybe stick some lavender in there or some cedar or sage, and roll it up and make a sage bundle. So, okay, I think that is it. I think I've actually covered everything. Yeah, looks like it. I hope so. Shit. Anything after this is just, oh well, it's not happening. But I just really wanted to talk about the importance of finding balance at Ostara, asking yourself where you need to find balance in your life, what is out of balance, and how you can kind of correct that and balance things out. And what do you need to add and what do you need to get rid of in order to find that balance. So those are all really good journaling prompts that you can add to the list of journaling prompts from video 1. Again, those are prompts that you can revisit throughout the entire year and come back to throughout your entire life. So I hope you enjoyed part 2 of this video. I have posted a list of additional music references, and I do want to say them on here in case you're not watching this at the time I've posted the music list. Some additional music suggestions are Keb Mo, K-E-B-M-O. He's a jazz musician, and he just, like, I love his vibe. He's got a really good vibe. I listen to him every spring and summer, and he just makes me happy. I really dig his music. So Keb Mo is a really good one. Rising Appalachia. Dude, oh my God. I love Rising Appalachia. Like, I just want to turn that shit up and get into it. They've got such a cool vibe. If you have not checked out Rising Appalachia, do it, because you will not be sorry. And then, what was the third one? Oh, pretty much any pagan song about this time of year. So you can search pagan music, or you can search songs about Ostara, and different things will come up, or songs about spring, pagan music, songs about spring, things like that, and a bunch of different options will come up for you. So that is it for today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me again. I tried my best to make sure this video was a hell of a lot shorter. I did not want you to have to sit through another hour of me talking about Ostara, but I do appreciate you hanging out with me again today and listening to this very important but completely overlooked part of Ostara for video 2. Remember, if you have any questions, post them in Edie's Cosmic Gathering Place on Facebook, and I will do my best to answer them in that space. If you know of anyone who would enjoy this series, please have them join Edie's Cosmic Gathering Place. That way they can be part of the conversation. Also, don't share these videos outside of the group. These are an exclusive just for those of you here in the Gathering Place. It's a thank you for hanging out with me. I just wanted to share my knowledge and kind of my 20 plus years of study and practice with all of you, just to show you how much I appreciate you being here and hanging out with me. So remember, though, these links and this series is just for those of you here in the Cosmic Gathering Place. If you know of someone who would enjoy it, have them join us here in the space. Not only do they get to see the videos, but then they also get to be part of the conversation, and I think that's a really integral part of the entire series. So have them join us here. I think that is it for today. Thank you all so much for being here. And remember, you are fierce, you are fabulous, and you are fucking badass. So keep that shit up, and I'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye!